Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to or welcome back to the Murderous Minds True Crime channel. How is everybody doing? I hope you're all well. I'm your host, Poppy, and today I wanted to talk to you all about whether or not Maddies' school did actually contact Jenn during the day to inquire about Maddies' absence on the day that she went missing. And I've been looking back through Jenn's statements that were released early on or near the beginning of the case, not from the new ones that have been released now, but I have started going through those. But from what was released early on, it would appear that had Jenn not contacted Maddies' school or her teacher to inquire about Maddies' attendance that day, she wouldn't have been notified at all that day. The school was already closed by the time Jenn made contact with Maddies' teachers. And so I was interested to know whether or not the schools in Florida, and specifically Osceola County, had any sort of laws or rules when it pertained to school absences and notifying parents or guardians of the absences and, the time frame for doing so. As I'm pretty sure you're all aware, I live in England, but when my children, well, they're not children now, they're ladies, but when they were children and they went to school, each morning and each afternoon after lunch, each classroom, a register of all the children was taken. And then that register would be taken down to the school office to the secretary or receptionist. And they would then go through each register, and any children that were absent, they would then contact the parents of and ask them if there was a reason for the absence, so they can put it down as an authorised absence. And it's just peace of mind for both the school and the teachers what's going on with the child. And we used to have phone calls we were notified within 20 minutes to an hour maximum of dropping the kids off, whether or not of school starting, whether or not they were there. And then when they started high school, it was even quicker than that. Before most people had even gotten back home from the school run, we'd had a notification. It was an automated text message or an email that went out, and sometimes even a phone call with it. So you always knew really early on if your child was absent from school. So I thought surely it's going to be the same in most places in the world, in all schools. But just in case, I thought I'd turn to good old ChatGPT. I've got quite fond of good old ChatGPT for asking questions. So I asked it whether or not Florida state schools had any laws or rules about notifying parents and guardians of a child's absence. And it says, Florida state law requires schools to notify parents or guardians of a student's absence from school. According to Florida statute 1003.26 in brackets 1 in brackets B, schools must report absences in a timely manner to the parent or guardian. This notification is typically done through automated phone calls, emails, or other forms of communication on the same day the absence occurs. The policy ensures that the parents are promptly informed and can address any issue regarding their child's attendance. Specific procedures and timing may vary by school district, but the general requirement is immediate notification on the day of absence. So I thought, that's quite interesting, and that information is quite important. So, considering what Jenn's statement and claim said, that they hadn't notified her, and she had to contact them herself. So, I turned back to ChatGPT and I thought I'd be a bit more specific, and I asked whether those rules, the same rules, applied to Osceola County schools in Florida. And this is what it said. Yes, Osceola County, Florida follows the state requirement for notifying parents or guardians of a student's absence. According to the Osceola County School District attendance policies, parents are typically notified of a student's absence on the same day it occurs and in as soon as possible. The district uses automated phone calls, emails, or other communication methods to ensure timely notification. So they do notify the parents or guardians, and on the same day, and in as timely a manner as possible, and it's automated. So why didn't Jenn get notified? Or is it possible that she had maybe turned her phone off or just ignored their calls, blocked the contact addresses and numbers from them temporarily, anything so that she could play dumb then when it came to school run time? She wanted to be seen in that school run line waiting to pick Maddie up because she didn't know anything at all, did she? As far as she knew, Maddie was at school. Jenn knew nothing, did she? Balls. So to be in that line, she mustn't have known anything. So I'm thinking perhaps she could have feigned ignorance when it came to the school phoning her, or, put something in place so that they couldn't contact her. But Jenn wouldn't pretend not to know she wouldn't pretend, would she? But then again, she wouldn't pretend not to know of the abuse of her daughter, would she? I'm sure she feigned innocence or ignorance to a lot of other things too. So why wouldn't she pretend not to know here? I think she's very sly and devious, and I wouldn't trust her as far as I can spit. So with that in mind, I think the questions pertaining to that are now, did the school make any attempt to make contact with Jenn that day? And if so, what methods of communication did they try? And why did Jenn never mention it and she stuck to her story that she had to contact them to ask if Maddie had been to school? Because from what we know now, there are laws and rules in place. They would have had to contact Jenn. So either the school's made a major cock up, or Jen's lying through her teeth again. Somebody needs to start telling the truth, though, and I really don't think it'd be the school that's lying. But I think it'd be quite interesting to know, whether or not they did attempt to contact Jenn or any other members of the family, because I have known where if a child's been off sick and they can't contact the parent, often they'll try and contact an emergency. You have to put your emergency contact number on the application forms for schools and stuff. So perhaps they might have tried to phone her emergency contact, but would she have had Stearns down as that, or her mum? I'm not trusting anybody in this. But what are your thoughts? I'm quite interested to know what you think about it, and I look forward to reading your comments down below. That's enough for me from me for now. I'll leave you with that. So thank you for watching and listening, and I'll be back soon. Take care of yourselves. Please be kind to everybody. I love you all. Until next time, my lovelies. Bye.